The Eastern Mediterranean isn't the only strategic waterway that is a global flashpoint. The Horn of Africa is also seeing renewed instability, from Houthi attacks on the Red Sea just to the north to tensions between Somalia and Ethiopia over a controversial port in a breakaway region. Torn by war for 3 decades, the government in Mogadishu has long sought international support, both to keep its territory intact and to reach a lasting peace at home. But those hopes are now under pressure from many angles. Türkiye, which has close defense ties with Somalia, recently signed a cooperation deal to help boost its maritime security. The president of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, who was at the ADF seeking new partnerships, spoke to me about the risks his country is facing. So, hello, Mr. President, and thanks for joining me on Strait Talk. Just last month, the Somali Parliament approved a defense cooperation deal with Türkiye that will dramatically boost your country's defenses. So the question is, how important will this be for both Somalia's security and for stability along the Horn of Africa?
First of all, thank you for having me. And second is, this agreement is called, it's not only a defense agreement, it's a defense and economic agreement. So Turkey and Somalia has a long history of having collaboration among the two countries. This agreement is very, very useful to Somalia to defend itself from the terrorists and from any external threats. We have arms embargo on Somalia for 31 years. That arms embargo is lifted now. So Somalia has taken the full responsibility of controlling its security within Somalia, in offshore and onshore, of course. And you know, Somalia has the longest coastline in Africa, and this long coastline was, there was a lot of, it was a long time, it was ungoverned territory, and all the evil forces and outlaw agencies have been utilizing. Illegal fishing was there. Illegal trafficking was there. Illegal transportation of arms were there. Illegal toxic waste dumping into our territory was there, because Somalia was not in a position to control. This agreement helps Somalia to fulfill its national responsibility as well as its global responsibility to protect those maritime zones of Somalia.
So you call this deal a historic one.
Yes.
So what does this agreement signify in terms of your relations with Türkiye moving forward, and how much they have grown, as you've just mentioned, over the last 2 decades? How do you define the both countries' relations?
Our countries' the two countries' relationship is at its highest level right now. We have established some sort of common understanding and common strategic interests that we share.
What are those common strategic interests? Could you elaborate?
One is Turkey's international diplomatic strategy is to support the poor countries, the Muslim poor countries, to defend the interests of the Muslim world in the right way and the right diplomacy. And Somalia is one of it. Since 2011, Turkey has been supporting Somalia to grow and come back to its rightful position in the global arena.
So Turkey was one of the first countries to criticize a controversial port deal between Ethiopia and the breakaway region of Somaliland. So, and Turkey has also been, as you've just mentioned, been supportive to Somalia's territorial integrity and so on. So how important was that your country got this international support? Are you happy with that?
Yes, we are happy with that. We have a full international support on this issue, because our neighbor Ethiopia is standing on the wrong side of the diplomacy and on the wrong side of the international law and the international diplomatic respect, number one. Number two is Turkey's foreign affairs diplomacy, based on principles, is always to support or to go against the injustice and to support those who are seeking justice. Turkey has supported many countries, including our neighbor Ethiopia. When they were in difficult times, Turkey supported them. So it's not one country against the other. Turkey's support to Somalia is within the framework of the principles that the foreign diplomacy of Turkey is based on.
So you called this Ethiopia-Somaliland deal an act of aggression, right? So where do things stand now? Is there a real threat of a war with Ethiopia?
Well, Somalia has enough of war, and we are just coming out of that war. This is a time that the Somali people has the highest hope that they are ending they are getting out of the difficult times. What we see right now is the stand of Ethiopia is to keep Somalia on the status quo, and it's not a good aspect. There is no way that based on the rule-based global governance and international law that a neighboring country can just come, deal with a part of one country and agree, and then establish military bases and then recognizes them as independent state. This is completely against the rule-based international diplomacy or international law, based on the United Nations, on the African Union, on the regional organizations like IGAD. All of them, that says there is a respect for the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and the political independence of the states.
Are you really angry at this deal between Ethiopia and the breakaway region of Somaliland? And how do you define your country's relations with Ethiopia right now?
First of all, I would like to emphasize, we do not deny that there is an issue in the Somaliland, northern part of Somalia, and we have been dealing with this issue. The MOU was signed 1st January, day one of the year, yes. And we were having a dialogue and discussion with Somaliland President in Djibouti on 28 and 29 December. So imagine, there was a dialogue process going on between to solve our local.
Did he deceive you?
We have 2-day session, myself and the president of regional administration of Somaliland in Djibouti. The president of Djibouti was facilitating, and we were there. And you know, we believe that the whole environment, this was the first time that we kick-started these negotiations after it stopped for some time. And we were having a very good environment and spirit that things will go. We agreed that we go back home and we come back together 1st February to continue with the dialogue and the discussion among us. Unfortunately, Ethiopia has interfered when they see that we are going to succeed to keep us on the status quo. They said, we will recognize you as an independent state while you go to Somalia and reunite with Somalia. So, you know, this is a very bad intention, and it doesn't help both the Somali people and the Ethiopian people.
So if an opportunity emerges, will you be willing to talk to the president of Somaliland? Are you open to dialogue again?
We are open, and definitely we are open, and we have no issue with Somaliland at all.
Okay.
We have no issue at all with Somaliland. We know that they have concerns, they have grievances, and we stand there to address those grievances and concerns, and we have been trying that. And that was the last time that we did it. 28, 29, 27, 28 December, only 2 days before this agreement this MOU issue has come. So there is no an issue. That is the existing issue for the last 30 years is there, unresolved, and we are willing to resolve that. But Ethiopia wants us to keep us on the status quo.
Do you think Turkey could play some sort of a mediating role in here?
Somalia is open for any diplomatic channel, any diplomatic resolution of this issue. We don't want to go a war with Ethiopia. We have enough of war, and we have one war, which is against the terrorists.
Yes.
We don't want to go another.
This,
We don't want to go into another war.
So, Mr. President, can you give us specific details of this 10-year deal with Turkey? It has a defense aspect as well as the economic one. But how will it provide maritime security and help your countries fight against terrorism?
You know, the strategic location of Somalia in the Horn of Africa, the eastern tip of the Horn of Africa, is that we have the longest coastal line in the African continent, 3,300 kilometers of coast, both the Indian Ocean and the Red Sea. This maritime territory was uncontrolled for a long time. And when the territory is uncontrolled, ungoverned for a long time, all the outlaws, all the devil come there. We have piracy, who
Illegal
challenged the world in a big time. We have illegal toxic dumping in our oceans by different parts of the world. We have illegal fishing by our resources, and we have the illegal trafficking of arms and ammunition throughout the world. It's one main reason that we have agreed with Somalia. We have an arms embargo for 31 years that has been completely lifted now. We took the full responsibility of these territorial waters to protect all those evil things. The world was protecting Somalia's oceans for the piracy, for all this. Now it becomes under the responsibility of Somalia. Somalia's capacity right now to do that is very limited. So we look and we seek support from Turkey, and Turkey is going to help Somalia to fulfill its international responsibility to protecting those territories and national responsibility to protect as well. So Turkey is the best partner. That's one side. The other side is the oceans are full of resources which we cannot do and benefit by our own. So the technological capacity of Turkey, the financial capacity of the know-how of Turkey we need to benefit these economic resources that are available in our oceans. That's the specific component that we have, the economic aspect of it. And then Turkey will never protect the oceans of Somalia forever.
Of course.
What we want is that we want Turkey to support Somalia build its own navy based on the resources that we are receiving from the ocean once protected by the illegal fishing and all this. So the aim of this agreement is very sincere and honest, and it helps not only Somalia, it helps the region, and it helps the global affairs like the piracy, and all this will be prevented within the framework of this agreement.
So, Mr. President, your country has also signaled an interest in buying Turkish drones. Turkey and Somalia, we all know that, have deep military ties, which include Turkey's largest overseas military base, which lies just outside of Mogadishu. So how would this relationship move forward if you acquire Turkish drones?
Well, there was
And how will that help your fight against terrorism?
Of course. You know, we were under arms embargo for a long time. That arms embargo has lifted now. Somalia has the legal capacity to own such technology and such weapons now. Turkey was supporting us when we were under embargo by sending their drones and helping us to do this. Now, since we are out of that arms embargo, now we wanted to own this defense equipment to defend ourselves from the terrorists, and Turkey is supporting us in training of our. It will not be today or tomorrow, but down the road we will acquire those technologies, as many other countries of the world has acquired the Turkish technology. Number one, Turkey is responsibly selling those technologies to the framework of bilateral agreement within the framework of international agreements that controls all those things. Somalia will acquire soon those technologies, and we will manage those technologies by our own.
Both your country and Ethiopia will have Turkish drones, huh?
Yes. As I said, we have no intention, and there is no any policy or even thinking to go to war with Ethiopia. No, we are not. Whatever we are, or whatever technology or weapons we acquire for the war against terrorism and for securing Somalia from external threats.
All right, Mr. President, unfortunately we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining me on Strait Talk.
Thank you very much. Thank you.